Some viewers may find this disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hi my loves, it's DSLR and you're watching Choice TV. So today's video I wanted to get on here and talk about the Famita situation and the epidemic of content creators being entitled and expecting free shit constantly.
A TikTok influencer took a $200 comped meal and ghosted the restaurant, then slammed them with a 1 out of 10 review when they exposed her. That's the chaos surrounding Famita after Chef Papa's owner, John, called her out publicly. It started when she reached out asking to collaborate. John agreed immediately and asked what she wanted to do. Famita requested a full dine-in review in exchange for free food and drinks. He said yes. She picked 8:30 p.m. despite the kitchen closing at 9, and John still honored it. She ordered multiple dishes, 4 cocktails, and ran the bill up to about $200, all comped. The problem? After the collab, she disappeared. John messaged her multiple times with no response, even though she continued posting on TikTok every single day. Finally, tired of being ignored, John made a video exposing the situation. And suddenly, within hours, Famita posted her review, giving the restaurant a 1 out of 10 and claiming she didn't want to hurt his business.
So, as you guys know, it's very common for a lot of us to go on TikTok or go on Instagram Reels and want to watch food reviewers because sometimes you want to go out to eat, but you don't know where to go. So most of the times, instead of going online and researching or asking locals, the most convenient thing to do is to go on Instagram Reels or TikTok because, I mean, we're already on the app anyways. Like, a lot of us spend a lot of our time using these apps, so we think a lot of times when we see these foods and we see these restaurants, we think it's legitimate, right? Well, come to find out, if y'all didn't know, a lot of these influencers actually get paid or they get free shit just to promote shit to you. So a lot of times when you see these influencers promoting these fancy upscale resorts.
I tried the new viral all-you-can-eat crab house at Times Square, and here's what to expect. The decor matches the upscale energy in this location and the price tag. You start off with a menu selecting all the options you desire, and then soon after, a salad is made for you tableside. Now, when they say all-you-can-eat...
Okay, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be sidetracked, but y'all see that fucking price tag? $168 for an all-you-can-eat seafood buffet? Who the fuck is paying for that? And then you see them fucking drinks? Who the hell made them shits? A 3-year-old? And then on top of it, look at that dry ass salad. I'm sorry, but that shit came straight out of a fucking like Walmart plastic bag. Like, this is the shit I'm talking about, these fucking food reviews. They just be promoting shit and they be like, oh, it matches the price tag. No, it don't. They get paid to do these things. And I'm telling y'all, this is why TikTok need to make it clear that they need to say that it's an ad, because a lot of these fucking food reviews be bullshit. Now, I get it. If you don't like it, you don't like what you see, just keep scrolling, don't eat there. But this is the shit I'm talking about when I say that there's a reason why the food industry is going downhill. A lot of times they got paid to do it. A lot of times when you see restaurants being promoted in TikTok or YouTube videos, they were paid to promote it. And due to that, that sometimes leads to people being a little bit dishonest or being kind of vindictive or manipulative when they're getting paid in food or when they're getting compensation to promote something. Now, there's a woman by the name of Famita who's also known to be a TikTok influencer and a beauty influencer who recently decided to reach out to a restaurant called Papa. There's a Vietnamese restaurant in Queens called Papa where basically they serve Vietnamese food, and essentially the restaurant owner was essentially doing an arrangement with the TikTok creator. To make a long story short, she shot her shot and offered her services in exchange for food, which seems fair at first glance, and he initially agreed. She ran up the bill to about $200, did the content, filmed the content, and people just assumed that the food review was eventually going to go up. However, she never posted the food review, and the owner of the restaurant went on TikTok and completely blasted her for being sketchy and doing bad business.
An influencer scammed my family-owned restaurant. Hi, my name is John. I'm the owner and son of Chef Papa Vietnamese Kitchen. We had this influencer contact us through Instagram asking if we had any collaboration opportunities. As you can see here, we replied asking how she would like to collaborate. She explained in exchange for a comped meal, she would film and record our restaurant and food and feature us on her page. After she came in, she ate about $200 worth of food and left a $6 tip. Of course, the $200 bill was comped. About a month passes by. Haven't heard anything from her. She didn't message us. We reached out asking if there was an update when the video we posted. No response. We tried following up multiple times. She never responded. We tried commenting on her post that she was making daily, No response, and I feel like she scammed us.
She was quick to post a review, and instead of actually doing a normal review or posting the actual audio, she muted the entire clip and she did narration over everything. And she literally rated the restaurant a 1 out of 10. And she basically captioned her video saying, "I didn't want to drag you guys, but here you go." And essentially, she commented under the owner's video and she said, "This experience was truly disappointing and speaks volumes about the standards of this restaurant. Based off of this post and how you handle things, and unfortunately, this is one of the rare times we left feeling unwell afterwards. The dishes were poorly prepared and the overall execution did not meet even basic expectations. If the restaurant would like, I'm more than willing to provide a detailed and honest breakdown of each dish and the service received. Overall, the rate was 1.2 out of 10. My goal is to share genuine experiences with my audience." And she said a lot more. And it's unfortunate because the owner even responded to her and said, "If you didn't like it, why did you eat all the food? If you didn't like it, why did you order 3 cocktails? If you didn't like it, why didn't you say anything?"
You came to my restaurant, you ate the food, we asked you how was everything. You told us everything was great, service was great, food was great. Then you left the restaurant knowing that you weren't going to post us because you thought everything was terrible. So not only do you sound super ignorant, because if you know Vietnamese food, you know it's known for its strong aroma, fish sauce, shrimp paste, and even our food is Americanized because at home when we cook it, it's meant to be super strong. Maybe you didn't know that because everyone has a complex palate. You know, I won't blame you for it, and Vietnamese food won't be for everyone. But you can't make the excuse saying the food was terrible, so I'm not going to post them. If you truly did not enjoy the food, you would have told me or the server the food wasn't good, I didn't like it.
Now, after she received tons of backlash from this owner making a TikTok about her and a lot of negative attention, she then came out and she even reached out to the owner saying that she was getting death threats and she didn't appreciate that. And she even later reached out to the owner apologizing for her antics and her actions. Now, what's unfortunate is all this really could have been avoided if she just simply posted the review. But what's weird is she was willing to literally take this man's free food and dip out on him and not say anything. That's unfortunate, but again, this is a common thing. This isn't like something that's brand new. This is a very common thing where a lot of food reviewers will do a lot of sketchy things, piss off a lot of owners, and do so much more. Now, it's really unfortunate because, you know, nowadays, a lot of these food influencers have contracts with these foodie places and these restaurants and these dining halls and much more. They have contracts getting paid hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars, being offered food and meal tickets and all this other shit. And I think that is so fucked up and disingenuous that they post videos sometimes knowing that, and we'll never really ever know if the food is actually good. I'll never forget, like I used to follow this one guy on YouTube. His name is Rockstar Eats. And let me tell you something. It's this Asian man who travels all over, like, you know, the West Coast, all over LA. And the food in LA can be fucking terrible sometimes. So sometimes I used to always like hearing a good food review. And then I realized a lot of these food reviewers in LA are under contract. Like, for example, he basically would promote the most terrible restaurants, and then the food would be trash. The food would be caca mixed with dumpster shit. And I remember, I'll never forget, I tried a Trinidadian restaurant in Los Angeles after his review, and the food was the most disgusting shit I've ever had in my life. It was so terrible. It was old. It was poor quality. It was poorly prepared. It was made out of convenience, not with actual effort. And I was so upset because he reviewed it and said it was really great. Is there something off? And then it made sense to me now that I'm seeing all these videos years later, these videos months later, weeks later, of all these influencers, if you look closely, spitting out their food, or if they're not spitting out their food, sometimes these influencers are legitimately acting awkward and editing out when they eat the food.
I've never seen bacon this thick. Makan nyo? I usually have bacon really crispy, so this is very interesting. This is my first time trying English black pudding. The beans. I love the beans. Because I love beans. The bread is kind of soggy. I would prefer it if it was crispier. Everything here is thick.
Are you enjoying that, girls?
It's amazing.
Like, they'll literally be chewing and chewing and chewing, and they'll literally cut out their reactions if you look closely. So y'all are doing food reviews, but y'all are chopping up your reaction and saying how good the food is. People do anything for $1. People will literally pop their collar, sell their poom poom on the street, anything for $1. So I don't trust none of these people who do these food reviews unless I actually like watch Keith Lee's videos or I watch an influencer who gave a balanced review and rated everything, because sometimes they're liars. They will do all they can say, do what they can do because they don't want to burn a bridge, and they'll make $2,000, $3,000, mislead their audience and keep it moving. I'm so sorry. I can't fucking stand these food reviews. That's why I'm telling y'all, like, one of these days I hope TikTok cracks down on y'all, and I know they will eventually, because I'm tired of the false advertisement. And then these restaurants be so upset, and these servers be so upset at us that we go to these restaurants and we don't want to be tipping. We don't want to tip because a lot of times the service is just terrible. They don't make any effort at all. They don't even put the fucking like service charge in the actual place. So it's almost like the restaurant always benefits, but the server never benefits.
$64 at Panera Bread. I am disgusted. Okay? Now, we're gonna listen and we don't judge. Are we still doing that? My family is sick. Everyone's sick except me. My husband's sick, my son is sick, my daughter's sick, okay? And I didn't have time to cook dinner. It's 7 p.m. and I just got home, so I picked up Panera Bread on the way home, okay? And yeah, they're sick and I'm gonna feed them carbs. We're gonna have macaroni and cheese. Everyone wanted one, so we got 4 macaroni and cheese, okay? And we got 4 small French onion soups. That's all we got. $64.
$52.95. $52.95 for this bowl of pasta right here and this drink right here. I'm at Italy at Park MGM, and this bowl of pasta right here and this drink right here cost me $52.95. $52.95. I'm at Italy at Park MGM, and this pasta right here and this drink right.
Please tell me why I just went through McDonald's to get a Diet Coke. And I was on the phone with my husband while I was ordering, and he's like, wait, you're at McDonald's? Get a Filet-O-Fish sandwich. He's like, get me 2. So, whatever. I order 3 Filet-O-Fishes in a separate order because she wouldn't let me add it on to my Diet Coke order. Anyways, that's a whole nother story. It pissed me off. Pull around, order 3 Filet-O-Fishes, not the meal, just the sandwich. She clarified. She said, the sandwich or the meal? And I said, just the sandwich. And she said, 3 of them? And I said, yes. Tell me why it was $17 for 3 Filet-O-Fishes on Friday during Lent at McDonald's. I'm not crazy. I sat there and blinked my eyes, and then I just pulled away because I was so angry, which probably was rude, but like, $17 for 3 Filet-O-Fishes at McDonald's? Are you kidding me?
You're telling me I paid for a half sandwich from Panera for $5.99 to go with my soup. $5.99 for this, for a half piece of bread and some cheese smacked in the middle. What the is this? That's insane, Panera. That's absolutely diabolical.
This, get a good look. This cost $9. What the This cost $9? What?
How many times have a lot of y'all gone to restaurants because a TikToker said it was good? A lot of times because of sheep mentality, a lot of people will usually invest into these content creators and try to use them to promote their restaurants because it does bring them business. So sometimes content creators can make almost $5,000, $10,000, a whole meal for a whole family, and even $2,000 in a gift card in compensation just to literally do one review, which could potentially go viral and potentially change this restaurant's life. However, sometimes that can be problematic because a lot of influencers never disclose sometimes if it's a paid review or not. So you would never know if an influencer got paid for a video or if you're actually wasting your time or if this is actually a legitimate restaurant. Some influencers don't prioritize integrity, they just do the fucking review. And that's why I always have respect for people like Keith Lee, because Keith Lee doesn't instantly just take money because people offer it to him. He takes money from people that are willing to sponsor his brand as an individual. But for restaurants, he doesn't accept any compensation, and he very much well could. It's very known that a lot of influencers are arrogant fools. It's very known that influencers sometimes walk into establishments and expect free shit. So I live in LA. It's very common sometimes to go into clubs or go to restaurants, or sometimes you'll RSVP for things and they'll tell you straight up, oh, put your Instagram handle. Before you get approved to attend a party or an event, sometimes they want to see your Instagram handle because they want to see if it's worth it. It's not everywhere, but in a lot of exclusive high-end nightclubs where there's a lot of celebrities, sometimes they want to see if you have a social media following. I've literally been told by people that if I flex my social media following, I could probably get in the places for free, I could probably get stuff for free, and it may be true, but I'd rather just pay for my shit for just for the fuck of paying for it. Like, I can afford to pay for a $20 cover fee if I want to go to the club, which I rarely do because clubs are fucking boring. Because clubs are fucking boring and pointless because all people do is just fucking stand in the fucking circle and stand in the middle and stare at their phones all day. So if I do on a rare occasion go to a club in America, I rather just pay for my shit. I'd rather just pay for my own section if I even pay for one, which I won't because sections are like $1,000 nowadays, which is ridiculous. Club culture is bullshit in America. And if I even decide to go out to eat, I'd rather just pay for my food. Like, have y'all seen my videos where I go in on restaurants for poor service and poor quality? I think I'd rather pay for it because the last thing I want to do is make somebody uncomfortable or rub somebody the wrong way if they paid me hundreds of thousands of dollars to review their restaurant and I go in about how trash the food is. I'd just rather let people keep their money and do an organic review because I don't want to feel an obligation to have to, say something positive when I don't mean anything positive at a restaurant I try. Some of these restaurants in Atlanta, Los Angeles, Chicago, New York City, a lot of these restaurants in South Florida, especially a lot of these restaurants in like Philadelphia and Houston, they're garbage. They have terrible service. They add like 25% gratuity. They think just because they include hookah or a grass wall or because the workers got like black gloves or like leather aprons that they can justify selling like 3 tacos for like $30. So, you know what I mean? So I don't like a lot of the restaurant culture. So sometimes I'm apprehensive about even going to a random restaurant nowadays. Back then it was easier. Like, okay, let's go to this cool little restaurant. Like there's people, in line waiting for it. Nowadays restaurants aren't even popular or packed anymore because of word of mouth. A lot of people are packed out, lined up at restaurants because they saw a fucking TikToker who fucking got paid $4,000 to promote a fucking restaurant with like 3 sliders, 3 appetizers, and a fucking cheap ass cocktail that's watered down. And they rated it a 5 stars because a lot of times I have to always double check. If a TikTok food reviewer says it's good, I have to actually go look at the Google reviews. And sometimes you'll go and it's like 3 stars. People talk about that there's mold and there's roaches in their salad or their bathroom got doo-doo all over the floor. And I'm just like, ew, like what the fuck? And these TikTokers just take these people's money. I can't blame all these restaurants for trying to do what they can to grow their business because people are willing to take their money and most restaurants fail. So you gotta do what you gotta do to bring people into that door. And it's very true that this Famita woman really just wanted some food to eat and wanted a nice meal for the night so that way her and her man can go out to eat. That's really what she wanted. It's unfortunate because they opened up a can of worms and there's been a lot of rumors of other things. More people have come forth saying that she used to be a pet sitter and saying that she didn't literally deliver somebody's dog in like a suitcase and a bunch of other stuff.
It's talking about the influencer that's accused of scamming a family-owned restaurant. I believe my son JC also died in her care. My name is 11. I want to share my story. My dog JC passed away while the same person, Famita, was watching him. When we got him back, he was in a suitcase, wrapped in trash bag. I will never forget that. In March, I need a dog sitter while I visit my family for only 10 days. Famita told me to not go through Rover. I trusted her, so I agreed. My plan ended. She called me and said JC died while she was watching him. I was shocked. He was a healthy, happy dog when I left. There were things that didn't feel right. I asked for photos and updates, but she didn't answer for a long time. We told her friend could visit JC. She ignored the message. Pet hospital told us he did not look like he passed away that same day.
She delivered this lady's dog to her. Do you know how she delivered this unalive dog to her? She put the dog in a suitcase
And it's a shame how all this started over some fucking ramen and orange chicken. It's a shame because she opened up a can of worms due to her selfish behavior where she thought, oh yeah, I'm just not going to post a review even though I got $200 worth of food. Now, even with all this backlash, she did manage to reimburse the owner because she was so embarrassed. But yeah, it's really crazy how all the things that happen in the dark eventually come into the light. That's why you never shit on people. That's why you always try your best to try to do the right thing when no one is watching. Because you never know how things will backfire and fall apart. Why reach out to somebody asking for free food and not even help out? Now you got fucking allegations about you literally being the reason why somebody's dog was offed in your care. So all this because you simply didn't even do what you were told. So you see what happens? Everything's a domino effect, and karma is so real. You never shit on people. You never burn bridges because karma is so real. So everybody and their fucking mom want to be an influencer, and I honestly blame people like the Logan Pauls, or I blame people like the Rice Gums, or I blame people like the, Crispy and Creams, and, the other people who just made it seem like it was such an easy thing and an easy flex. And they created and they polluted the name in general. So if people ask me, and if you ask me, no, I'm not an influencer. And it's people like this that make it difficult as fuck. So in general, I don't do shit like this for free. Like if you want to reach out to me and you want to compensate me in food, if the food is weak and the food is whack, I'm going to say the food was weak and the food was whack. A lot of influencers don't have that same integrity. Some of them just feel like, okay, well, I don't want to burn the bridge and I want to make sure I look good on camera. When you look at these people who claim to be food reviewers or food critiquers, they're all full of shit. Having pitch perfect lighting and having a nice camera in front of you doesn't make you legitimate. That's why if I even go anywhere to order food, I always go to places like Reddit, or I go to, places like Locals, or I'll go to Parks, or I'll go to other restaurants and bars and I'll ask locals what they think is a good place to eat. That's what you have to do nowadays, because nowadays it's not a word of mouth kind of thing anymore. Nowadays it's just TikTok blowing shit up. And nowadays restaurant culture is fucking dead. People are literally buying food from like fucking food trucks or buying food from the back of somebody's trunk in Los Angeles or New York, because that's where the real good food is. But anyways, please be sure to leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Give me your thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if y'all think the Famita girl deserved it. And yeah, that's that. Choice out this bitch. I wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and I can't get by. And what's going on? And I say, hey, hey. I say, hey, what's going on? And I step what's going on? Thank you.